January 2nd, 2022. It's the old shade tree here. Healing up. Pretty interesting stuff. Well, 25 days ago, here in about 6 more hours, be 25 days. 25 days since I unlocked my C-1 out of the bottom of my skull, where it's been hung up in there for 28 and a half years. Yep, 28 and a half big ones. Big chunk of your life. Two different neurologists, neurosurgeon, chiropractors. Well, ain't much help there. Have to put it in yourself still. We're still living in the Stone Age. Got to use Stone Age techniques to put your neck back in. If you want it back in, I guess. If you don't want it back in, you can die like everybody else, suffering from neck injury complications, while the medical system just ignores it. Thinks everything's okay. They don't realize that their children, their families are at the same mercy that they're giving everybody else. If they even knew that, you'd think that they'd be smart enough to get something going on this. Okay, let's go into day 25 here this morning. We're almost 25 solid days in, or about 24 days and probably about 18 hours in. Got about 6 hours left till it's actually 25 days. This morning, I have a lot of pain relief. My hypersensitivity's come down about 50%, which is, you just don't understand what hypersensitivity is. And if you did, I tell you what, you just want to get a gun and blow your brains out. You just literally want to kill yourself because you don't understand it. It's just hard to comprehend how nasty hypersensitivity is. You don't include your migraines, your dysfunction, and all your pain and stuff from muscle spasms and irregular growth and vision problems, hearing problems, sinus problems. So near as I can tell right now, my brainstem's pretty much where it belongs. I had a couple of hard checks. I had one Saturday about 5 days ago, and I had another hard check Sunday. It's pretty rough. Lots of pain, but just kind of basically was looking for center, is trying to find exactly where exactly am I supposed to be. And it's kind of working around in there. And I got my C2 pulled out of my ear canal, and C1 snapped back in. C2 moved a little bit, and C2, I'm pretty sure, is what was all up in my ear here. And since my ear canal and my eardrum's healing from being compressed or whatever it was, stretched, or what kind of damage I have in there, well, it's healing. It feels like I got bugs crawling around in there. I mean, I don't know how to tell you about you got a bug crawling around inside your eardrum, what that feels like. And I don't have a bug in my eardrum. It just feels like I got a bug in there digging around. It's not a new sensation. I've actually had the sensation in my eardrums, both sides, a couple times. Most of my impact area is on my left side, but it impacts both sides. I'm having some blur out issues with my right eye. Still kind of hazy. It kind of fades in and out a little hazy. It's not quite where it needs to be. My left eye is doing amazing compared to what it was doing. I mean, it felt like I had a brick smashing on it all the time, so you pick that brick up off there. Once it heals up, I'm pretty sure that one's going to be good. I'm probably going to go get a pair of glasses, I guess, because I know my eyes are no ways near. And the glasses I got, I already looked through them. They're worthless. My eyes are completely different. They're just changed. That's the best way to say it. Changed. Now, due to the fact that the current medical system is leaving so many people dislocated and hung up, and just spitting them back out on the street like that, the herd, what we have is we have a herd of a whole bunch of people that have neck complication injuries, and the complications is that their growth cycle's interrupted, and depending on the position of the dislocation, it might depend on whatever kind of label they got stamped on what you're going to be. I mean, if it's tilted this way, it might be Parkinson's. If it's tilted this way, it might be rheumatoid arthritis or scoliosis, or if it's tilted a little bit up, a little bit tilted like that, it might be MS. That's what's really going on. That's the crystal clear truth. That it's truth. There ain't no lies can outweigh truth. Truth is self-evident. And I am self-evident to myself from what I've been through with the seizures, which I resolved my seizures. They ain't never explained that. They don't care. Now I resolved my C-1 dislocation. And I'm in the healing process, which I'm sure 25 days is probably just the start of how far up the ladder I'm going to go with this thing. And you're like, 25 days, that's a long time. Well, I don't know. You twist out your elbow, twist out your knee, ankle or whatever. I guarantee you a month later it's still going to be touchy and sore. Because I've had some other joint injuries and they don't just heal right up. I C-1, C-2 are really close to where they're supposed to be. They are healing in. So there's a lot of itching and burning and sensations. It's like right here, right up in here, way up high, above my Adam's apple, and it's sore right in there. And going through this process, I've also had a lot of pain and movement in my esophagus, and I no longer have pain and issues swallowing sometimes. You know, when I was dislocated, sometimes I'd swallow and it'd just hang up, and it hurt all the way down. I mean, we're talking about dropping like a fireball down your throat, and it just goes down real slow, and it feels like it's on fire. And I've had a lot of alleviation of that, a lot of alleviation from a lot of the symptoms I'm having, and I'm really hoping to go back to work. Speaking of work, apparently the grapevine works. Got me a little message last night. About, I guess about 6:30. Let's listen to this.
You want now and save your Social Security disability benefits until you need them. Social Security hired us to help you return to full-time work when you are ready. We at Alston have specialized in SSCI assistance for over 35 years and are here to help you free of charge. Press 0 to speak to a return-to-work expert. Press 2 if you are not interested right now.
End of messages.
Pretty cool, huh? Gonna throw you back out on the football field for you can get healed up. Let's go play ball. Well, I figure it's gonna be 6 weeks or so before I'm really stable enough to not have to sit down and go through stretch cycles and stuff, because that's one of the reasons why I'm not working, is because I have to sit down and deal with this stuff. I can work for an hour or so and I gotta sit down. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, who knows? So I'm at the mercy of my stretch cycle, which appears to be alleviating, which is really nice. It's so nice. I'm a workaholic too. I used to work 3 jobs and stuff, 2 jobs. And I want to go back to work, but I want to be healthy enough to work. I need to get healed up, get my faculties together. I mean, I'm 28 and a half years. I ain't had any exercise, no exercise at all. So I have no stamina, none whatsoever. My muscles are coming out of their flu-ness. I mean, I don't know what to tell you about living with the flu all your life. You got muscle aches all over your body every day, all day long. You know, you got that cross-eyed migraine headache all day long. Shaking and jerking and twitching and dealing with stretch cycles, and yawn cycles. And just, wow. I had this baby on my own. Ain't nobody out here helping me. Ain't nobody did none of this for me. I went to doctors and asked for help with the seizures. They sent me home and said they don't see nothing wrong. Went the second time and said, hey, I'm having seizures. So we'll come back here in a week and we'll do a test. Go back a week later, do a test. Calls me 2 weeks later. Hey, we got your results in. Ah, cool. What are they? Well, no, you got to come up here and talk to us so we can tell you what's up. I'll go up there and talk to them. Say, well, let's do this carpal tunnel shock test before we give you your results. And they shocked me while I was seizure active. Man, it feels like just grabbing a spark plug wire and hanging on to it. 40,000 volt pop. Pow. Amplified by whatever's going on in my body by the seizures, which in my opinion is like charging a battery. So I'm pretty much pumped up and charged real good, and they're going to start shocking me. So after I went through that ordeal, and he's lucky I didn't kill him. I mean, he's really lucky I didn't beat him to death, because they didn't know how painful what that felt like. They just go in there and they do this stuff. They have no idea of the pain they're inflicting. I went down, I had 2 small children. I'm driving down the highway, slow down, make a left-hand turn, in my little Dodge Colt wagon, and a Suburban ran up my behind so hard he buckled my bumper up into my rear wheels and busted my head open on the shoulder restraint, which bent the shoulder restraint 180 degrees, and it's bolted to the ceiling, to the roof of the car, with my head, which left a big old gash in the back of it right there. They stapled that up. When I went to the hospital and I had it x-rayed and everything, call me up the next day and say your neck's broke. I'm at work the next day, and they call me up and say your neck's broke. So I go up there and talk to them, and they say, well, we're gonna let you try and see where you're at. Well, hell, I trusted doctors back then. I really did. Didn't have any problems listening to them, their nonsense and what they're doing to people. I don't trust them anymore. Not with 3/4 of the population dislocated. And we're talking the world population. We're not just talking about the state of Oklahoma or the United States. Not just Canada, United States. Not just Canada, United States, and South America. Everybody. Even the doctors, you're hung up. There's probably only about 10 or 20% of the people on this planet that aren't hung up right now, and most of them are children. Because when you reach your adult age, you've been hit so many times by then, you're definitely out. You're already showing signs of scoliosis. You got a hump in the back of your neck. You set up like that, set back here like this, where you belong. And you're going to live your life living the complications of that injury. No matter where it's turned, no matter which direction it's turned, no matter which little label they got for whatever condition that position of that neck's turned into. And all it is a dislocated neck. And all you got to do is get somebody to put you on their shoulder, put both their hands behind your head, rip you down and lift you up off the ground and shake that thing just a little bit back and forth, side to side, and let that shit all fall back out where it belongs. You don't even need a doctor. We are living in the Stone Age. That's your Stone Age answer. That's where I'm at. I got the Stone Age answer. That's a key that God gives you. I got one key. Let's talk about the seizures. You can seize out of the seizures. They will resolve. You don't have to suck on anticonvulsants all the rest of your life. I mean, there may be just a few unique people that aren't really having their seizures because of the neck injury. They're having seizures because maybe they have a deformation in the neck. Maybe their damage is so severe and their vertebrae are fused together, and you ain't never going to be able to pull them back out straight where they belong because it's irregular growth out of the womb. People's necks should be checked the minute they hit the air. That's the first thing you should check with babies is be his neck position or her neck position. You should check them at 5 years old, check them at 10 years old, check them at 15 years old, check them anytime they get hit. Yep, 2 small children. Got my block rung real hard, and it left me crooked sideways and cross-eyed. And they left me that way. And they're leaving other people that way too. I am not unique. By no means. I look at people now and I see it. I see the slant in their neck, tilt to where their chin's up like that, and they forward. Now talking about getting their heads back up over their shoulders and stuff. The only way you're going to get your head back up over your shoulders is if you get that C-1 back in. That's the cold stone truth. Or stone cold truth, however you want to say it. But like I said, I'm healing in. My C-1 and my C-2, they're tight, touchy, and You know, they don't like to be moved and messed with right now. They want to be left alone so that they can go ahead and heal on you and where they're supposed to be and tighten up a little bit. Oh, by the way, I do have a busted C2. That's been verified. So no matter where this goes, I still have a busted neck. You ain't going to unbust it because ain't nobody going to go in there around C2 and mess with it. They're scared of C2. I guess. I don't know. But this is to all the neurosurgeons out there. Yo, dudes. If you do neck surgery on somebody, cool. You fix their neck. But you didn't. Because if you do neck surgery on them and you do not relocate their C1, C2 and get their neck back in position, your success rate on your surgery for the complications that are going to incur after the surgery and years down the road are still there because you didn't fix the real problem. Yeah, you fixed whatever joint or whatever it was that you thought was bad enough to fix, but you still have the same problem you're leaving everybody else with. Even back surgeries, you go in there, I mean, the guy's been hit so hard his back's broke, you didn't never even think to look at his neck, would you? Never think about his neck position. It's a crime, people. This is a serious, serious crime against humanity. And it's such a common sense oversight that it appalls me that this is like this still. It is. It's appalling. And here's your kicker. I have no reason to do this except for the fact that I see people dying everywhere from complications of the neck. And I have Social Security for the rest of my life, made, cut and dry, check paid every month. I don't have to go do nothing except tend to my injuries. And I'm posting these videos saying that I'm coming back. I'm 59 years old. I've been dislocated for 28 and a half years. And if I come back at this age and recover from these injuries without any reason other than the people around me, my concern for them, and my want to get out of this cage and go back to work, testifies. Is here. I am here to bear witness. This ain't really me no more. I mean, me, I'm a selfish person. Primarily concerned about myself and my family and stuff like that. But since God's involved, and has shown me how bad this is, I am obligated to bring forth the truth. And you can say whatever you want to about my belief in God and Lord and Savior Jesus Christ if you want to. But you know what? This is God's machine. God made this machine. God knows how to fix it. The medical system doesn't. But if God has his way right here, they're going to know about it soon enough. God ain't going to leave them alone. God ain't like that. God don't just stand by forever and ever just watching this kind of stuff. God will come down there and put his foot down. And when he puts his foot down, it's over. That's it. It's over. So right now, as far as I can tell, these dragons are dead. I got the key to both of them. 2 dragons. That's the chiropractic system and the modern medical system. Dancing around this injury, ignoring it, saying that they can fix it, cracking your neck, cracking your back, they're going to fix it. Shit, I'm at the point right now where I think it's intentional. They're intentionally leaving the herd dislocated so that they can leech money off the herd. Instead of fixing the herd, which is going to shut down the whole system, and they ain't going to have no jobs at all because whatever's left is only going to be a fraction of what we got now. We're going to have some of what we got now to deal with the people that are so old and been left dislocated for so long that it's basically going to be physically impossible to relocate them due to the amount of pain from growing back straight and due to their age. Now these children, they'll be our first generation. The first generation of normal necks. People that aren't dislocated. I can imagine what that might be like. because I can see it. But I can tell you this could be years and years and years added to people's lives without all the pain and suffering and premature death due to ignored neck dislocations. That's where I'm at. So here, basically on my timeline, which is about 6 weeks, because it generally takes about 6 weeks to get an ankle injury or an elbow injury, maybe even longer than that. I mean, I twisted out my elbow, boy, you mark my word. That one took about 5 months. Don't ever hyperextend your elbow and pinch that nerve in that elbow. Boy, that funny bone nerve, it ain't funny when you pinch it. Matter of fact, it smells like somebody got a blowtorch on your elbow, and it's forever, ever going to be there. Well, God bless the old shade tree mechanic here. I'm actually in a building right now, believe it or not. Thank God it's 28 degrees outside. It's fixing to snow. It'll be Wednesday, January 2nd. Y'all get your heads back on. You need to get your heads back on straight. It'll make a big difference in your life. I don't know where the off button's at. Well, spin it around. There it is.